Welcome to Look Back in Amber, the official podcast from us Newport County fans. From exclusive interviews to interesting inside insights, since 2010 we've been the best place to be for all things audio. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, I'm Lamsie and I'm asking all the big questions.
I'm Stephen, I've got your commentary highlights and I'd like to ask about squad depth. Have we got enough to cope?
I'm Luke and I got your post-match interview with boss Graham Cochran, and I'll be wanting your thoughts on our away form.
Never miss out by following us wherever you find this podcast, or listen live like you're doing now at 2 p.m. on a Sunday and 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after all League 2 home matches.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
It began at 1:30 in the Marquee. Maybe a little bit later because of the traffic. What was it like yesterday with the NCL warm-up team? The kids were from Pantake FC. The charity of the day was Alzheimer's Society. And she did a brilliant job. She was really good, really well prepped.
Yeah, they are really good charity, the Alzheimer's Society.
Yeah, really good interview. So well done, Darren and John, getting the best out of that one. And well done to Alzheimer's Society for having a little chat to us. Amazing music from Alex Hughes. Like everything else yesterday, it was all a little bit late. But what he made for him being late, he certainly gave him quality after. So thank you, Alid. Continued at 3 p.m. in the compy with our Chris, Stephen and Luke. And some DJ geezer playing tunes in the Bisley. Any idea what that was about yesterday?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He wasn't taking requests, I know that.
Well, he wasn't, was he?
He was taking requests, but he wasn't quite playing them the right way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Can I stop talking about myself in the third person now, please? I only got one thing to say after all that. No. I got him moving, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
We'll talk about that probably a little bit later. Okay, Stephen.
Oh,
Barrow.
yes.
Recent form.
Barrow, they lost their last match in the EFL Trophy against Blackpool. In the league, Barrow ended a 3-match winless run in their last match, but they drew 2, lost 1 by winning against Harrogate 1-0. Away from home this season, Barrow had won 2, drawn 1, lost 1. Barrow were the second best defence in League 2, conceding 5 goals in 6 matches. In the last 6 meetings between the two sides, Barrow have won 3, lost 3, and the last time the two sides drew a match was in September 2011, a 2-2 draw in the National League.
Luke, how did Newport County line up yesterday afternoon?
Yesterday, Newport lined up in the usual 4-3-1-2, 4-1-3-2 formation, whatever way you want to look at it. We had Nick Townsend in goal. Back four of Adam Lewis, Ryan Delaney, James Clark and Lewis Payne making his first start for County. Midfield 3 or 4, Shane McLaughlin, Scott Bennett, Bryn Morris and James Wade, with Omar Bogle and Will Evans up top.
Okay, so let's play catch up. Let's go back to 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Hopefully some great tunes in the background of this commentary. I'm hoping,
should be.
I'm hoping Chris hasn't let me down. Let's hear what happened yesterday afternoon.
Good afternoon. We welcome Barrow back to Rodney Parade for this League 2 fixture. And the return of 3 former Newport County favourites. Sam Foley, who was part of the Conference South winning side more than 10 years ago. Jamie Proctor, and of course the League 2 top scorer the season before last, Dom Telford, who's just arrived at the club from Crawley. County were beaten heavily on their travels last time out, and Stephen Howell alongside me will be hoping that Rodney Parade becomes a fortress here this season.
Yeah, let's hope so, Chris. Yeah, I'd just like to say on Batman Day, it's great to have the dynamic duo back together again on commentary. And I think, it's like friends reunited today, isn't it, with ex-players. These two teams will know each other very, very well. And there hasn't been a draw in the last 6 games, so there's normally an outright winner. So hopefully today is Newport County.
And Payne steps in ahead of Tienzia, tries to play in Bogle. He's got the ball right inside the area, squares it towards the penalty spot. Evans, and it's a penalty. Evans just got there before George Ray. The defender tried to clear it and only connected with the ankle of Will Evans. County's top scorer took a tumble, and we've got a penalty in the 15th minute. Well, what was your reading of that one, Stephen?
Yeah, it was a really good passage of play. Brilliant interception from Payne to get County, and a lovely ball for Bogle, who played it in towards Evans, and he was brought down. So, there's no doubt in my mind that's a penalty.
Quarter hour mark, Bogle steps up and hits the post. He went to the right side of the goal and just caught the ball a bit too much with the side of his foot. Farman went the right way, he wasn't going to get there, and the ball clipped the post on its way wide of goal. Nice layoff. Payne has it on the right wing. Low ball in. McLaughlin into the area. Shot into the top corner, and that is a beautiful goal. Jay McLaughlin with his first in a Newport County shirt. 6 minutes before half time. County were up against it for much of the first period. Missed the penalty though, but have finally found a way through against this resolute Barrow defence. Lewis Payne teed him up, and McLaughlin puts Newport 1-0 ahead against Barrow.
Oh, it's a lovely bit of play. The high pressing, winning the ball high up the pitch. I did say Payne would come good, didn't I? And he was brilliant there, and a lovely finish by McLaughlin to give County a lead just for half time. Could be vital in this game, and so they really deserve it, because the last 5 minutes they've been really good.
Telford, who had a rich vein of form in his second season, and there's a yellow card here and a red card. Well, it's the second yellow. Ryan Delaney with the foul on Telford, and after County went 1-0 ahead, they've now seen one of their players sent off before the break. 2 yellows for the captain. But they're in behind here. Lewis slides in, and he's adjudged to have caught the player who's running behind him, Robbie Gotts. It's a penalty to Barrow. They were just unpicked there for a moment, and Lewis, who's got the wrong side, didn't need to dive in, did he?
No, he didn't at all. He should have stayed on his feet, because it wasn't like he was running at the goal, was he? He was running away from the goal. Yeah, poor error by Adam Lewis there, I've got to say. Definitely a penalty in my eyes.
So the ball, despite prolific goal scorers on the field of Tom Telford and Jamie Proctor, it's the midfielder Dean Campbell at the end, where Omar Bogle missed a penalty in the first half. The south stand end. Here comes Campbell, and he rolls it past Townsend into the bottom left corner. He went the wrong way, and Barrow are level against 10-man Newport. Bennett charges through and he's tripped inside the area, but the referee waves the protests away. And now Gotts, right side of the box, tries to chip it and couldn't quite wrap his boot around it. Townsend thought that was creeping into the roof of his net there from close range, so he just tipped it over. 97th minute. Campbell to Gotts. Drills it in. Townsend saves it. It's a near post. It's not away yet. He punches it as it came back into the danger area and gets it out for a throw. And that's the full-time whistle. Newport County with several players looking wounded at the end there. Couldn't quite hold on to the 1-0 advantage they had, given to them by a brilliant goal from Shane McLaughlin in the first half. The sending off of Ryan Delaney meant that they had to hold on to what they had. And Barrow did force a goal with a penalty after Adam Lewis needlessly gave away a foul. Dean Campbell dispatched that, but Barrow didn't have a cutting edge really to make any more inroads. And Newport will be happy to take a point from this game, but I think some of their players will struggle to make it out for the next match. The injury list seems to be growing, but a tough encounter ends with a point apiece. It's the first draw between these two sides for 12 years when they were in the Conference Premier together. It ends Newport County 1, Barrow 1.
Nice, Stephen and Chris. Interesting you mentioned about the injury list there. I know you want to talk about that very soon.
Yeah, it's almost like we planned it.
I know. And yeah, it's like we think about these things. And I've got a place on record as well. Big thank you to Kevin, who's the stadium announcer over Rodney Parade.
Yeah.
Not sure how long for, but he was absolutely instrumental in helping me play all the music and try and pick the right stuff at the right time. So big thank you to Kevin as well.
Yeah, he does an absolute phenomenal job. We've mentioned it's tough to replace the great Tim Thrace, but I think he's done a phenomenal job of it.
You can't replace Tim Thrace,
No.
but I think he's done really, really well.
Yeah, I think he's really grown into the role, especially with the free gripper thing. I think he kind of, like the fans quite enjoyed that as well. But yeah, I think he's done a really good job as well.
Yeah, I hope it's not his last one. I was trying to encourage him to stick around, because what people don't realise is that we're still volunteering. We're volunteering here today with Newport City Radio, but we volunteer over the county as well. Yeah. And that was it's hard to take sometimes when fans are on your back. So I appreciate where Kev's coming from. Also, we had a bit of a change in job circumstances as well. So hopefully we haven't heard the last of that voice. Yeah. That'll be great. Let's hear some more voices. Let's hear Luke with Graham Coughlin.
Yeah, we were up against a really good team. We were up against a really, really strong team, physically, a fit team, a well-organised team. And credit to Barrow, credit to Pete Wood, the job he's done. Great bloke, some really good top pros they have. And I thought it was a really, really good advert for League 2 football. I thought two teams went at a hammer and tong. And if I wasn't a manager, stood on the sidelines with taking charge of one of the teams today, I probably would have enjoyed that game. I probably would have enjoyed that, a League 2, typical League 2 game. And it was a good advert for League 2 football.
With a man less and Barrow equalising, many would have expected them to go on and win it. What does it say about your team then that you refused to buckle?
Well, I don't really need to be stood in front of cameras again, because I've said that since the day I walked in the front door, and just short of 12 months now. I spoke really highly of the group of lads I inherited last year. They were a tremendous group, but I've got an absolute top group of fellas in that dressing room. Great group of lads, and their resilience is unbelievable. And the one thing that I've been lucky over the 12 months I've been here, each and every player that comes into the changing room, they understand the DNA of the football club. They understand our circumstances, where we are, and they work their socks off, and they represent the club and they represent the badge extremely, extremely well. Now, I asked the lads for a reaction, and that's the type of reaction that they give us, because they knew and they know we've, as a manager and as a group of players, we all let ourselves down last weekend.
You worked incredibly hard to go 1-0 up, and you would have been delighted with that. The game then changes just before half time. Talk to me about that incident. How do you feel about that incident? I'm not going
to stand here in front and speak about decisions, because we could be here all night. I'd much rather speak about two top quality League 2 teams. I'd much rather speak about top players, the standards that they set, and what we and what we go through week in, week out. I'd rather speak positively. That is for the PGMOL, and that is for the LMA, and that is for the football authorities, because it's not just me saying it, it's 92 managers that are saying the same thing week in, week out. So I'd rather concentrate on the positives of the football club, the positives of the players, and the application, the attitude, the work rate, the commitment that they showed.
If, like you say, every manager has gripes, it clearly has to change. When do you think it will change? Because, as you say, it can't continue what is happening when so many people are unhappy at the moment.
Well, look, let's leave the major decisions. Let's leave the major decisions to one side. When my midfielder, Bryn Morris, makes a tackle, he makes a wonderful tackle, and he wins the ball back, and then he's actually booked for it. There's a free kick and a booking. So it's not a condemnation and it's not a ridicule, but we have to look at the game and we have to make better decisions, and somebody in authority has to get a hold of this game, because that is a really, really good advert for League 2 football, which was ruined this afternoon. But like I say, you say anything, you voice your opinion, and you're in trouble. You cannot disagree, you have to just agree. So that's the robotic way we work as managers, and it can't be right. It just can't be right.
Because it would have been great to see 11v11 for 90 minutes. There's no doubt that whether you agree with that decision or not, that decision changed the course of the match, didn't it?
Well, as a manager, you're living on the edge when two of your players get booked inside the first 10 minutes. And there was a game last night, Salford and Newport County, which was similar. There was 9 bookings in such an early, and I'm just. You know, look, again, I'm getting drawn into questions here that I probably want to avoid because honesty gets me in trouble. The lads represented the club today really, really well, and we had the best chance in the second half as well. We could have actually won that game with 10 men. So that just goes to show how strong a group we have and how we react and the type of qualities that we have in that change room.
Didn't want to bring him on early, but Declan, as a former centre-back, you must have loved that sort of, clearing everything style performance from it.
Yeah, look, as a centre-half, as I said to the lads at half-time, I used to love when we were backs to the wall. I used to love the pressure. I used to love balls coming in my box because that was bread and butter to me. So I knew that was going to be the second half. That was going to be the case in the second half. So like you quite rightly said, ideally Declan, we shouldn't have brought him on at that time of the game. We put him at risk, so we'll have to wrap him up and look after him and minimise what we do with him over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just make sure we get him back, we get him fit, we get him proper, and we don't do him a disservice by flogging him and chucking him in every game. But look at Declan. You ask Declan and you tell Declan, will tell you, even with one leg, he'll tell you he's fit and he wants to play. He's just that type of soldier, he's that type of warrior. So the display from him today, not only Declan but the lads was top drawer. And like I say, a little bit of luck, lady luck shining on us. For once, we might have gone and won it. Omar Bogle had a brilliant opportunity, carved out with him and Will. Even a half opportunity, but he turned it around, wrapped his foot around it, and it was going in the top corner, but for an unbelievable block by their player, and I love that type of defending as well. So hats off to them for defending that.
Frustrating the way that they equalised as well. You sort of seem to ride the storm a bit.
Yeah, there was no need for us to go to ground. We had a 3v3 out wide. We got across the park, we shuffled across the park, we pressed, we covered and we slid across. So there was no numerical advantage to them. It was just a simple ball down the side. We just switched off, and those little errors, it's those little moments that we need to cut out and that we need to get in our favour rather than going against us.
The reaction from last Saturday, how pleased were you with the reaction to the players, especially with being down to 10 men for so long in that second half?
Look, I was over the moon. I was really proud of them. They did come out, they reacted, and again I could have, and I touched on this with the players during the week, and I touched on it with them yesterday as well. We could have been very easily, I could have been tempted to rip it up and go with 4 or 5, make 4 or 5, 6 changes, but I didn't. I trusted them. I knew they'd react because I know the character, I know what they're like. I knew they were hurting last week, so I suppose I don't know, did I call it right? I don't know, but we could have very easily ripped it up, chucked the baby out of the bathwater and made a lot of changes, but we didn't, because I know what this group is like. I know how they felt last week. And it was partly down to me as well last week, and we take it as a group, we take it on the chin, we moved on, and hopefully we put in a pleasing performance today that we can build on and maybe push on with, and hopefully one day we might just get a little bit of luck and a little decision and a break of the ball, because at this moment in time it's just not happening for us when it comes to luck and it comes to decisions. It's just not falling in our favour.
Newport County manager Graham Coughlin. Stephen, what do you make of all that?
Yeah, well, I just think first and foremost, Graham, gave a brilliant press conference there, and I think he spoke really well when being asked about the referees. I thought he did really well to kind of turn the attention onto the team. Yeah, I think he's really, really good at handling the media that way, isn't he? But yeah, as far as the game's concerned, I think, to be honest, he said in that interview that he wanted a reaction from last week, but he didn't get it in about the first 10 minutes of that game, because I thought Newport County started awful. I thought they were terrible. There was no urgency. The passing was terrible. And then on the other hand, Barrow, I thought, started really, really well. They were causing problems on the left wing. They were kind of targeting that area by, I know Telford and Proctor kind of went out that side of the pitch. I'm not sure whether they were targeting Payne because he was making his debut. I'm not sure, but credit to Payne. He grew into the game as it went on, I thought, and had a really good game. Yeah, Newport, great chance to take the lead with a penalty, probably against the run of play, but it was missed. I'm not sure if the keeper might have saved it, if it hadn't hit the post, I don't know. But that was a big chance to take the lead. Yeah, Newport then had a little spell where they were like pressing high, and they just seems to switch on. And that kind of resulted in the goal. Really good ball by Payne. I think he intercepted a move by Barrow and got up the pitch and then fed the ball to McLaughlin, who shot a screamer in from about 20 yards, was it? And I think the big thing is the referee was dishing out, Graham spoke about it there, 2 yellow cards in the first 10 minutes. I did my research on that referee, and I said in the commentary he is very, very card happy. He gave out 10 cards in one game that he refereed this season. And yeah, so he was dishing out yellow cards. And I think Delaney would got booked earlier. I thought he made a real poor challenge on Telford. Telford wasn't going anywhere and he brought him down. So he deserved the second yellow card for me. There's no arguments for me. And it was really unfortunate for County because they got themselves into a good place and then they end up going down to 10 men, and it did really change the game. Second half, I thought, Barrow dominated it as you'd expect up against 10 men. They got the equaliser. I thought it was a really poor challenge again by Adam Lewis for the penalty on Gotts, who'd run it into the area. Penalty was converted well. Thought Newport should have had another penalty when Bennett got brought down, but I think the referee thought he was looking for it maybe. Yeah, it was just a really brutal game physically. Barrow were putting in the challenges. Lots of players getting crocked. Yeah, but Newport dug in the second half. They were getting pulled around the pitch by Barrow, but one thing I noted that Graham Coughlin said he enjoyed that as a former defender. He used to enjoy those type of games. And Newport were really, really well organised. Like 2 banks of 4, with Bogle on his own at times when they were defending. Really difficult to break down. And it did seem until Barrow got that penalty that they might not find the answer. I thought, Newport might hang on you. But I think they deserve a lot of credit for the way that they've managed to rescue a point after what happened to them yesterday. And I think, it was just a really, really, really good defensive performance in our second half. Just to earn it, it was a well-earned point, I think. So they should be satisfied with that, really.
Okay. Next to Luke and Stephen at the Bisley stand. Luke, you were there. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much what Stephen said there. It was quite a slow start from Newport County. I think Barrow started on the front foot. It's weird to see a couple of ex-county players, as I think they alluded to in commentary, like Dom Telford, Jamie Proctor, Sam Foley coming back, Rory Feely, whose name I can't remember now, he used to play for us, Kevin Feely.
Yeah.
So it was quite a few players, relations coming back to Rodney Parade. But no, I thought Barrow started the better. Newport County grew into the game, and then obviously we got an early penalty, which Omar Bogle missed. We can't seem to score penalties, can we? We missed all 3 in the penalty shootout against Brentford.
Yeah, Barrow have had a bit of luck with penalties against them as well. I think this is the last couple of games they've had penalties that against them that have been missed. So Bogle's not the only one that's done it. Yeah,
and then obviously we got the goal. I think that's one of the goals of the weekend for me. Really nice pass on Payne to find McLaughlin, and then with one touch straight into the top bins, as us kids call it.
Yeah, because he does pick up those positions, doesn't he? We've seen him do it throughout the season, and it paid off yesterday.
He drifts into midfield, which is probably why you can tell he's probably more of a natural midfielder than a wing back.
Yeah,
he likes to drift into those spaces. But no, I thought that Newport County defended in the second half when we knew the second half would be backs against the wall stuff and defending for a lot of it. I thought we defended superb. Though Nick Townsend, considering last weekend after we conceded 4 to Crawley on the road, got quite a bit of stick. I thought Nick Townsend, well, we'll find out in a minute who the absolutely County man of the match is, but he's certainly up there for me. But I think overall, Barrow having 10 men for about 60 minutes of the game, I think they deserved a point in the second half. They were quite relentless. One thing Graham said on Friday in his pre-match press conference is that the game yesterday was not too dissimilar to the likes of Sutton, where it's very physical, it's very, I like the word you used, Stephen, brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal football at times.
I mean, there was players going down all over the pitch when they're on times, Yeah,
it's a bit of a war zone, wasn't it? Okay, lots to take apart in that one. So let me take it bit by bit. I remember being probably just before Katie's goal, Dave Crocker came up and he said, so how's the game going? I said, it's got everything in it. I said, everything apart from a goal. And then Katie went and scored. The ref thing, I know that we've spoken, you guys have spoken about it on the last edition of Look Back in Amber, so thank you for covering that for us. It was apparent to me that whatever's going on at the moment with cards, that ruined what could have been an even better game of football. What I respect about Newport County is they're trying to play football, they're trying to keep it on the ground, they're trying to pass it to each other. It's everything a football fan wants from their team.
Yeah.
And when you're being given decisions against you like that, something has to change. Now, I don't know what the process is. Do referees still have a cup of tea with the manager at the end of the game, or have a conversation?
Probably not after yesterday, no.
I would have thought so, no. But there's got to be some sort of redress. And it's great what Graham said in the post-match interview about it happening the night before as well. And surely the league manager's got to sit down and say, hang on, is this now League 2 football and we have to get rid of that? Because it's bad enough for a manager having to pick a team against another team without even then factoring in who the referee is that day. You don't need that. That shouldn't be a part in it. The referee shouldn't be that important within it. However, if that's the way that League 2 football is going to be, I think there needs to be a conversation had to understand that, because that, for me, and I think a lot of the fans yesterday, was absolutely abysmal.
I think what it is you get these new directives at the start of a season, and I think the refs kind of go overboard with it, and then it happens a lot, and as we're seeing, lots of people are coming out and talking about it, and I'm pretty sure that given time that they will start to relax a bit. It happens all the time when they get something that they want to try and do, and then people complain, so then they go and like change it a little bit or go back to like it was, or and I think that's the problem.
It's like organising Maindy Festival every year.
And I think that's what it is. And like Graham said, he said, because he's getting in trouble for having an opinion about it. He's supposed to just stand there and take it where you're not, and you could see he was getting frustrated on the touchline. And
he did give a good header that you two. I don't know whether you saw it, Luke, but I was over the opposite side of the stadium. Brilliant header from Coughlin. Proper defender's ball.
He's still got the skills.
In spades.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the slow start as well. Am I right in thinking that this is how Newport County would have started last season and would have lost? So even though we had a poor start, is this not a sign of this current Newport County team under Coughlin, his team, as I think we're going to allude to a little bit later, that stopped it from being a loss at Fortress Rodney Parade?
Yeah.
Because we haven't lost all season, and that's my stat of the weekend. So there you go.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think, you're probably right. Yeah, maybe, last year that might have probably been a game that we would have lost. And I think he has instilled the character in this team, and like he talks about the resilience of them is incredible. We've seen it this season, 1-0 down to Brentford, and they came back, and they've come back from being behind in games as well. So, I think he's really instilled his personality on his team as well.
Yeah, I think... Would we have lost last season? Maybe, but probably would have lost, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot more belief in the players now,
and the confidence as well. I think we've spoken a good few times now since Coughlin's took over. He spoke about the confidence and the fitness levels. I think we've seen that the fitness levels are there, and I think we've seen the confidence and the character. Because when you go down to 10 men and you've got another half of football to come where you're just defending, and it was second half, it was very much backs against the wall. Barrow had loads of phases of play, phases of possession. It was everyone behind the ball. Even Omar Boga was...
Yeah, that's it. One thing I was saying in the commentary, there was no out ball for them, They were defending. They'd sneak in and maybe win the ball back, clear it, and then it's going straight back.
It's another wave of Barrow.
Yeah, it was coming straight back at them, and they were getting, like I said, pulled from one side of the pitch to the other, and the organisation was incredible. And it was like 2 banks of 4, more or less.
But again, like I said earlier, they didn't lose their heads. They played football, and that's what I really apprecited yesterday. I know I've said it before, but I just wanted to hammer home the point.
I think during the game, I think you should have taken Will Evans off, because you could see he was getting frustrated, and I think you should have brought him off. But
picked up a knock as well, didn't he?
And then he picked up a knock, but you couldn't replace him because you'd used all your three chances to make a sub. So. And I think they will be feeling that game today. James Clark suffered a good few knocks in the first half. I was surprised he came out for the second half, but he seemed alright for the second half. So
I was tracking Will Evans after the knock, and it seemed that he was running quite freely afterwards. But then towards the end of the game, I think it was just you can see that expression on his face. So I'm not sure. Obviously, we'll find it in due course. Hopefully, he's okay. Let's talk about Declan Drysdale. So on his way back, he's been in the studio. We had a great chat with him. He's a brilliant personality, a brilliant character. On probably a bit sooner than anybody would have liked yesterday.
I think for me, he sums up yesterday. He sums up the game for me. You know, Graham Coughlin's admitted it there. He probably shouldn't have played 60 minutes, but he did. He got through it. I thought when he came on, he played well. You know, he played absolutely phenomenally. Feel for James Waite coming off, you know, but it's a tactical change. These things had to be done.
Because I think you guys said that you genuinely missed the first yellow card for Delaney. We actually missed the second one, the sending off. We ended up counting players on the pitch because we completely missed the sending off. Because I was looking at James Wick going off and seeing where they put an ice pack on his leg or did something around the injury, and they didn't. And then it was only then we twigged it. But yeah, nightmare. But let's get down to the man of the match then.
So your options yesterday were Nick Townsend, Shane McLaughlin, James Clark, or other, which you can let me know in the comments. Stephen, actually, no, before we go to you, Lamsie.
I'm glad you asked, because my man of the match is the best defender of the team out there on the pitch, the best attacker as well, and the best header of a ball. Graham Coughlin is my absolutely county man of the match. I knew he was going to do that. I prepped for that bit.
Well done.
Stephen, out of the players on the pitch yesterday, who was your one of them?
Yeah, there was somebody made some nice control at the back of the comp. Stand at 1.2 with the ball. Yeah, they were my man though. It's tough between Townsend and McLaughlin, but I'll give it to McLaughlin for that wonder strike.
With 50% of the vote, James Clark.
James Clark, okay, yeah.
That makes sense, and he certainly put his body on the line.
Well, he did, yeah. Oh, yeah, more ways than one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between reality Declan for just a brilliant welcome back, and McLaughlin as well, I thought was really, really cool. Stephen, what are we going to talk about next?
Well, I'm going to ask about our squad depth, and have we got enough to cope?
Okay, we're pleased to tell you that we've got a brand new sponsor for the whole season. We are very proud to introduce you to Newport Credit Union. They're based on Upper Dock Street.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
So, for my question this week, we spoke a lot in the pre-season review about us having enough squad depth. So I'm going to ask the question, have we got enough to cope? But before we talk about it, let's hear from the Newport County manager, Graham Coughlin.
Well, we've gone into the game today, and I must be said, Harry Charsley, Aaron Wildig, Ozan Zala, Kyle Jameson, Seb Parma-Holden. You know, we've gone into the game today with even Declan on the bench. You know, we've gone in, and you can argue that they're six starters. So we've gone into the game today without six of our main players. So we are feeling it a little bit. We are aggrieved, and we would like a little bit of luck to shine upon us at some stage, because my players certainly deserve it the way they're working. Yeah,
so obviously, we had a discussion about the squad depth, and we were quite happy with the squad depth. But I think, given the recent injuries that we've had and suspensions, I'm asking the question, have we got enough to cope? So I'm going to bring in my learned friend Luke Lewis on this one first. Luke, have we got enough to cope?
Yes, I think we do. You know, yes, we lost Ryan Delaney yesterday, but then we've got Declan Drysdale, who's just come back. He has a week now to recover. I think Graham said on Tuesday he's playing in practice games behind closed doors, whether that's an 11v11 game or whether that's county against the under-18s or the under-20s or whatever. He's coming back to full fitness, so there's another option in defence that we've got. And you look at the bench yesterday, we've got Josh Seabury, came on, I thought did well. He's impressed when we've seen him. You look at the Brentford game, and I thought he dealt with Brentford really, really well for his second or third senior appearance in professional football. To deal with the Premier League side, I thought he did well. Matty Bonswell's on the bench, who whenever we've seen him, again, looks phenomenal. It's a really, really close battle between him and Adam Lewis down the left-hand side. Ollie Thomas as well on the bench. We've yet to see what he can really do apart from cameos. Kiban Rai as well, we've got on the bench. Nathan Wood had a really, really good season in terms of goals and assists in the Cymru Premier last season. Kiban Rai, we know what a player he could be. obviously scored the equaliser against Brentford earlier on this season. You know, when you lose 5 or 6 key players, the likes of Seb Palmer-Holden, Harry Charsley, Aaron Wildig, you are going to miss them. But I think that the strength that we've got is shining at the moment. We might not have 25, 30 really, really good players, but I think what we do have is 1 or 2 players for every position, and most of the players can play in other positions. Like Shane McLaughlin, we've seen him so far this season play a right back, played in midfield yesterday. We've seen Adam Lewis, normally a left wing back, go into left back. Will Evans plays at left back as well, you know. So these players, Scott Bennett can go into defence if needed. So yeah, these players that we have are good, and they can play multiple different positions as well. So if say for example we got lost in I'll use Shane McLaughlin for example. We lost Harry Charsley. Shane McLaughlin fills in, so I think we do have enough. I think we do have enough to cope.
Mr. Lansdale, what do you think?
Based on our conversation off here, so I'm hoping not to steal too much of your thunder.
No, that's all right. It's not about me, it's about you guys.
It's team effort. I think we were always worried about the squad from the start of the season, and we're 10 games in if you include all competitions. And the one thing we didn't think about is the card situation we talked about earlier, and this is why we need to really, really get to the understanding, the root cause of what this football game is all about and how the officials are going to officiate it. Because if you're going to start losing players because of collective yellows or straight reds, then that's going to even cause more damage to this squad. The question that I probably want to throw back to you is, was Newport County's bench as strong as Barrow's bench yesterday?
I'd probably say no.
Barrow were only able to field 6 players.
They only had 6, but they had 6 quality players on there. They had Aqua, who was their top scorer, 3 goals. James Chester, who's come on, ex-international centre-back. I thought their changes, got to come on in midfield, was really good as well. Obviously we've got the younger kind of players then, like Ryan, inexperienced players like Wood. And then, so I would probably say, but I mean, the bench is really good. My only concern is, I got 2 concerns. Is one at centre back. We've only really got 3 fit centre backs at the moment. Not sure how James Clark is feeling after yesterday. Drysdale's on his way back. We're not sure how long Matt Baker's going to be before he comes in.
Don't think he's too far away.
But Delaney's only gone for 1 match, so that's not too bad. The midfield. I think because what was noticeable yesterday, obviously we ended up with 3 kind of defensive midfielders in the team. We were missing somebody like a Wildig, who was a passer, so just a little bit concerned about the creativity. And hopefully, all being well with Will Evans, we've got 3 up front, and we got the option to rise. But I think the main thing is Graham's got a squad now with players who are more or less all first teamers. Totally different to this time last year, where he inherited a squad where to be honest, he didn't really fancy quite a lot of them, did he? Like Chanka Zimba and Thierry Nevers, people like that. He didn't really fancy them. So I think what he's done is, and we spoke about it, didn't we? He's got this squad moulded to how he wants to play, So I think we'll manage. As long as we don't get any more injuries, we should be all right.
I think the difference is that now this is a squad that's all his players. Where when he inherited almost a year ago, he had a squad and they weren't really all his type of players. So now it's great to get this done in 2 transfer windows. So brilliant that happened. That's where I am with it. I think we just got to. What can you do? It's just football. Every team's got the same challenges.
Luke, what's on next?
Coming up next, I'd like to ask you guys about our away form so far this season.
New football season, new kit, new school year, new uniform. Newport Credit Union will help you through it. To find out more and see how to join them, search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Yeah, so this week, for my talking points, like I just mentioned, I'd like to ask about the away form. Now, it's something that I've noticed, and I think a couple of people online have said it. We've conceded 11 goals so far in our 4 away league games. That's just under 3 goals per game. The only team to concede more is Sutton, who, as we know, haven't won an away game since they beat us at Rodney Parade back in March. Stephen, away form. Well, Is it?
I think weirdly, because we spoke about it, did we? One thing we needed to improve on this year was the home form. But have we improved the home form at the expense of the away form? I'm not sure. But yeah, the last 2 games haven't been great, have they? We've conceded 4 goals in the last 2 games, plus 3 away against Accrington. Was it Accrington? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not really doing really well there, are we? I think we're kind of one of the worst defences, in the league. I think we're 3rd, maybe. And not really. Only 1 clean sheet in 4 games. Only 1 at home as well. I think on the plus side, though, I think we are scoring goals away from home. So we're not struggling to score away from home. The problem we've got is the conceding of goals. And I think it's the big thing I've noticed really is in the first half away from home we're outscoring teams. We've outscored teams 4-3. But in the second half, we've been outscored by teams. We've scored 2 and we've conceded 8. So I think the problem is the second half of games. I think we've spoken about this maybe before, haven't we? About a game so we're that's where we're losing it, because we are outscored. We're a lot better at home. We outscore teams in every phase of the game at home, through first and second half. So it's that second half away from home where it's going wrong. So we just need to improve on that, really.
Lamsie, 3 points from our first 4 away games. If you compare that to last season, it's 4 points from 4 games. Is that concerning to you?
No, not yet. I think we all know that on the list of things that we wanted to see from this season was Newport County winning at home or not losing at home, and we're there. We've done it. Where I think Newport County can improve it's absolutely right, Stephen. It's that second half away, isn't it? That they really need to drill down. I don't know how they do it, but do you take it as in you stop the goals? We can score goals. That's again another bonus in this one. To stop leaking goals, you then need to start playing for draws away first, and then hopefully then start building up to wins. Would you do it that way? Because in my head, I'd go around the way of right. Okay, hang on. We go to win. We go to play, but draws a minimum standard here, and then you kick off from there. Then maybe.
Yeah, I think Graham was really honest when I think he said he maybe got it a bit wrong in the last one against Crawley, where maybe he did try and go for it a bit too much. Whereas maybe they do just need to be a little bit more conservative away from home.
Okay.
Lamsie, what have we got coming up next?
Okay, let's talk about the next match, which is no away game in between, so we'll let you know who Newport County play next. Also, we're going to go off script. I'm going to tell you who we've got as a very special guest very soon on Look Back in Amber.
Right here, right now. This is Newport City Radio.
Okay, so let's take a look at that then. So next home game is going to be the 20th of September. We'll come to that one in a couple of seconds' time. In the studio tomorrow afternoon/evening. You might have seen on social media, he's got a bucket. He's a Newport County legend. He scored that other goal in the Great Escape.
Yeah.
Mickey's going to love us. We're going to do such a job on him tomorrow. We're very pleased that Mark O'Brien will be sat here with us tomorrow.
Yeah, so, I can't wait. Really looking forward to it. He's such a good person, and he's a great speaker as well, so I can't wait.
Yeah, the book is really, really cool. I'm halfway through it. I've got through to the Great Escape bit. I'm on to Flinny's couple of last season in charge, and it's a phenomenal read. It really is good fun. So we got lots of stuff to talk about like we normally do on special editions, but it's got that added bonus because his story's already out there. So really, really excited about having Mark O'Brien with us. Okay, new football season, new kit, new school year, new school trips. Newport Credit Union will get you sorted. Search online for Newport Credit Union. Home game. No away games. So 7 days to fix it all. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think the guys probably need a week off, to be honest. Well, there wouldn't be a week off, will it? But a week break from playing at least.
I think all we need to do is go over to Wilco's while they're still open and see whether they've got any paddling pools and make sure we get them some ice buckets over there, because that's been the talk about on social media this bit, hasn't it? I reckon Newport Council should actually give them wheelie bins.
Yeah, we need a paddling pool company who do super-sized ones just for the players.
Or maybe they could go to Newport Credit Union and see whether they can help them out.
Yeah.
Could do. Yeah.
So it's a home game on Saturday, 23rd September. Bradford City are the visitors, and we've got live music from Jump the Underground. So really looking forward to that next Saturday, as we always do. Score predictions. Luke, what are you thinking?
Ooh, Bradford's going to be one of the favourites for promotion this season. I'm going to say a 1-0 win.
Okay, 1-0 win.
Yeah, well, Yeah, Bradford 17th on the 10 points from 8 games, 1 point behind County in 12th. They've drawn the last 3 matches, most recently 1-1 with Harrogate. In the last 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 3, lost 1. Only 2 wins from 8 games this season. They've not won away this season, drawn 2 and lost 2. And they've only scored 1 goal in 4 away games. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win.
Okay, very positive. I like it. Newport County again, not losing at Rodney Parade. Really good, guys. Thank you. Thanks for taking time out to listen today. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram via direct message. We're also on email, contact@newportcityradio.org. That's a slight change to the normal one. contact@newportcityradio.org. We will catch you on Sunday the 24th of September at 2 p.m. as we continue to look back in amber at the 23-24 season. More talking points, more banter and more top class analysis.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now. Newport City Radio.